Tamil Maldonado has opened doors to diversify arts in our communities by teaching not only the rhythms and the songs associated with her culture, but also teaches the rich history associated with those Latin expressions. Tamil understands music and arts are not only entertainment, but a vehicle for cultural preservation, self-identity, and inclusiveness.
My name is Tamil Maldonado. I'm the director of Barrio E. Barrio E has different programs. We have after school, we have exhibitions, we have performances in private events and public events. We really want to expose our culture to other people. And by culture, I mean everything. I mean the community, I mean the relationship, the networking. We belong to a bigger community and we have to make sense of that, what that means.
I was exposed to Barrio E through a workshop. I brought my whole family to it. And Tamil and Danny showed us not only the instruments and the songs and the music of bomba, but what has been really important to me and what pushed me to become more involved with the group is their emphasis on the cultural and historical roots of bomba.
What happens is that it's a community affair. The dancer is the one that improvises and tells story. Whatever they feel, they express it, and the percussion hits the drums in so many ways to express that musically. Legacy from the Taínos, also influence from Spain and Africa.
My name is Jose Beteta and I am Tamil Maldonado's husband. She's a very talented individual, not only in the arts, which is the category that she was nominated for, but in everything that she does. She applies herself very much and has been successful at everything that she has tried. We've been able to be a very strong part of the community, and Tamil has been nothing but amazing with the Barrio E project, which she started almost as soon as we moved here.
It's not the same saying, oh, we have this percentage of Asian, this percentage of Black American, this percentage of Hispanic, if they're not talking to each other. They're not being a community builder. So Barrio E gives that space for people to get together and to share our lives, enjoy our diversity, and be very inclusive in our journey.
In his short time in Boulder County, Jose Beteta has already become a major influential figure in shaping the realities of our community. Through his actions and willingness to collaborate, he has strengthened the Latino Chamber, does immense work for the Human Relations Commission, and is deeply rooted in the music, arts, and culture of our community.
What led me to be where I am right now, and probably where I'm heading as well, definitely my family's dedication to hard work, and the family component of it was very important in my life. After that, I believe that my biggest inspiration that led me to work the way I am working now has been my wife, Tamil. She has taught me a lot about what it's like to really reap the benefits of helping the community and feel so good doing it, to the point where I am doing a lot of this work full time.
De libertad, una hoguera de sonrisas y de pan. Yo lo sé, sueño mamá contigo toda la.
So a regular day for me is waking up, having breakfast with my wife, and then right away start working on Latino Chamber stuff. I'll probably spend half a day doing that, and the other half a day I'll spend on Barrio E stuff, upcoming events, looking for sponsors, looking for venues for both, and basically that becomes a full day job for us. The little bit of time that I have left, I will spend on my own business, which is LipTech Solutions. It's my own small company that provides tech services, IT support. Came out publicly this year as being undocumented. Thanks to a play that I saw last year called You Know Who I Am by Motus Theater, that just kind of struck me deep down. And at the end of the play, I stood up and for the first time I announced that I was undocumented, that I wasn't afraid anymore. Being undocumented hasn't been easy. I feel it has handicapped me from achieving a lot of things in my life. However, I amaze myself of what I've been able to accomplish with it. That led me to run for office once the city of Boulder opened up. I didn't think that I was going to get the position, but I was unanimously chosen by the city council to be in that chair. So I was very overwhelmed and proud of that achievement, not so much for me, but for what it means for the city of Boulder. I feel good, and I just feel even better than I know that I have so much more to do and that I can contribute with. This is only the tip of the iceberg.
Jan Oldham in some way or another has touched the lives of all of us here in Boulder County. Whether it is her work in housing community development, owning her own consulting firm, or singing, Jan Oldham continues to touch the lives of all of us through her dedication to her community.
Somewhere along my journey, I heard somebody say that service is the rent we pay for being on this earth. Whatever I'm doing just grew out of my own personal experience of literally growing up on the wrong side of the tracks and realizing at a pretty young age that the world that I lived in was very different than the world beyond those tracks. I've always worked to create programs, facilities, interventions, and policies that just improve the lives of people in a community. Well, see, I used to tell people I'll give you $50 if you can find the affordable housing in Boulder, because we've designed it in such a way that it blends in, and you can't tell it. You can't tell the difference between the affordable housing that we built and the market rate housing that is out there. We didn't want people who who had modest incomes to be stigmatized, and we didn't want people to be able to drive by the housing and say, that's where the poor folks live. I was working with nonprofit housing providers, and they were trying to create more affordable housing in the city of Boulder. Right now, as you know, it's really expensive to live here. I think that a single family house costs over $600,000. When I look back and add up all the units, I have had a hand in developing over 500 units of affordable housing in the city of Boulder. When I retired from the city of Boulder, I was recruited to serve on EFA's board of directors, and I initially asked myself, why? Why do they want me on their board? And now I know it was to use the expertise that I have in developing housing, and I'm happy to do that. We recently acquired a 16-unit building in Louisville. And hopefully in the very near future we will break ground on the development construction of 5 new transitional housing units. I think it's important for us to remember that we are losing our middle class. It's very, very hard for folks, particularly to buy in the city of Boulder. And so folks have left the city of Boulder, and they're in Louisville and Lafayette and Lyons and Nederland and driving until they qualify for housing. I'd just like everyone to be aware that even in Boulder County, there are so many people that need help. Lots of organizations like EFA, like Sister Carmen, where you can help. And not to forget those folks, because there, but by the grace of God, go I.
Maria Ramirez is an award-winning educator, teacher, poet, and activist.
Welcome.
I've been looking forward to having you come see my room. I'm excited.
Maria Ramirez was born in a migrant camp and worked the fields for 19 years to help her family. She then got the opportunity to go to college and later became a teacher. She now helps our children understand the importance of education and is an example of what an education can actually do for someone.
What I have learned through this long journey is that education is the key. I was given an opportunity. I was taken pretty much from the fields to college once I graduated high school with a grant through the College Assistant Migrant Program. And that gave me the opportunity to break that cycle of poverty. Even though it was really difficult to leave my family behind, my mom, because my father had passed away that same year I graduated, I knew that I had to sacrifice leaving her behind because I could support her better and help her better if I had an education. So this is my ELD LA class. So it's a very print-rich environment, as you can see, because my kids need to develop language, English, and also to connect from the English to the Spanish, because I have kids that are also new to the country, new to the language. So one of the things that I use is that mural that I painted in college. That was to remind me of my heritage, so I use it to tell them, look, this is where you come from, so that not only the Latinos know, but the other cultures also know the riches that their peers, their Latino peers bring, also connecting to other cultures. Okay, so if you are from Taiwan or Japan, what is your pride? What is your heritage? And so I was determined to give my children a better future than I did. So through living in a home that was practically homeless, it could have been a homeless place. I was there with my 3 babies, going to school and working. And then I still plugged along because there were people that supported me. Dr. Chuck Minna in Metro State, encouraging me, giving me the opportunity when I said, no, I can't do this, I cannot do this. And I ended up graduating with honors. So then I become a teacher, and I love to teach, and that propels me to say, this is good because I represent someone that struggled, and I am someone that I believe people can say, yes, if she can do it, so can I. It is not easy. If I did it, so can you. But you need to work hard, you have to be determined, you have to be brave, you have to not give up, and you have to just continue and wipe off the tears, shake off the dust, and keep moving forward.
Cristina Pacheco has demonstrated immense commitment and dedication to youth and families in our community. She has inspired and helped many youth become the first generation in their families to pursue post-secondary education. She believes that every young person has potential, and she works tirelessly in support of their exploration and development of that potential.
My name is Cristina Pacheco. I manage the Children, Youth, and Families Division for the City of Longmont. I've had the pleasure of working here at the Youth Center for the past 15 years. I oversee the people that work here that do prevention and intervention services for children, youth, and families. I decided shortly after my undergraduate degree at CU Boulder that I wanted to pursue a master's degree in counseling, and so I completed that from the University of Denver and really took the community track and was very fortunate while I was in graduate school to work part-time as a juvenile probation officer. So that really piqued my interest and really just helped me find my passion. That's really where my heart is working with teenagers. One of the newer programs that we have is the youth recording studio. We have a sound booth where they can record their own music. We have some instruments, And they can pretty much come in and use all of this equipment, all of this technology, and leave with a professionally recorded CD. Ben Reddy is the person that oversees this, and he has built kind of a leadership component into this. So he has studio bosses who are teenagers that then turn around and teach other teens how to use the technology and how to kind of navigate what he has set up.
I've had the pleasure of working with Cristina Pacheco for the last 7 years here at the Youth Center. She's my boss. She sees the gifts that other people have and helps them harness those gifts and use them to the best of their abilities to make the Longmont Youth Center, and therefore all the kids that we work with, reach their goals.
So we have 5 different focus areas. We do youth development, early care and education, counseling, family success, and community problem solving. And so all of those things together help us be really involved with the community, and particularly with relation to children, youth, and families within the city of Longmont. We pull together around any issue, no matter how small it is or how big it is. I mean, you have to have that support and that strong team behind you, and I just think I'm really fortunate to have that.
Yanina Gomez has dedicated her career to improving the lives of families through her work with Boulder County Public Health. Her work focuses on improving parent-child communication, particularly around reproductive health. It is people in our community like Yanina who inspire struggling families in our community today with advice, support, resources, and experience.
My name is Yanina Gomez, and I work for Boulder County Public Health within the Genesister program. I work as the parent specialist in the Genesister program, and I work with parents.
I think her impact is really huge with the community. She's so open and giving with all the parents that she talks to, and she knows what's going on in the community. If anybody needs to know anything that's going on, they always go to Yanina.
I have been with Boulder County now for 25 years. My journey began in the WIC program. I was in the WIC program for 14 years, and that allowed me to build relationships within my community. I then moved into the HOPE program and started working outside of within my community in events and groups with parents and young adults. Then we were able and fortunate enough to start the Genesister program 3 years ago. And within the Genesister program, I brought in my own personal experience of being the mother of a teen father. And that kind of is an open door with families that they understand that I get the frustration, I get the heartache sometimes, and the encouragement and how important it is, in spite of it all, to continue to encourage our kids to become the best that they can be.
I think Yanina has had a huge impact on public health. She's grown through her job into a great asset for people in the community. I've personally used her for friends that I knew she'd be able to answer the question for them and help them out with their needs. Having a daughter, a teenage daughter who was pregnant and was able to help the family out and meet their needs. So Yanina is a great asset to Boulder County Public Health.
This just is a motivator, and it's an honor and a privilege to receive this. And it's just a confirmation of my work, and sows more into my life and the opportunity to continue to give back to my community and what a difference it has made. Thank you.
Kirsten Wilson has brought her immense creativity as a playwright, director, producer, performer, and community activist to Boulder County, all in efforts to raise the consciousness and spark those much-needed discussions we need as a community.
My name is Kirsten Wilson, and I am the artistic director for Modus Theater, and our mission is to use original theater to create community conversation on critical issues. I came to Boulder in 2004, and my plan was to get a second master's degree in theater and go back to New York. 2005 happened after my first year in Boulder, and there were a lot of hate crimes. And I ended up at a forum at Sacred Heart that was about hate crimes in the community, and a woman said to the mayor, "How dare you say that Boulder has a long history of racism?" The mayor said, "I didn't say that Boulder had a long history of racism. I said Boulder has a long history of fighting racism." And I thought, how can we move forward as a community if we can't even admit that of course Boulder has a long history of racism? We're part of the United States of America, which has a long history of racism. So I started doing what I know how to do, which is I thought maybe I can create a theater piece to create conversation, to help people learn about the history of Boulder. So I created this piece, Rocks, Karma, Arrows. But the cool thing was a guy named Daniel Escalante, who's an amazing leader, Latino leader in the community, thought we should bring that piece back. So we got this whole group of people together, and out of that came Modus Theater. And out of that came not only Rocks, Karma, Arrows, but the One Action Project. My specialty is helping people write and perform their own story. I talked to Laurel Herndon, Erica Bloom. We were trying to get together, see if there's some undocumented immigrants who wanted to come out and tell their story. And they introduced me to Victor Galvan, Ana Cristina Temu, Oscar Juarez, Juan Juarez, and Hugo Juarez. And they were willing to do this really intensive process. And so I wove them together into this performance called Do You Know Who I Am? It's ironic to me that these undocumented immigrants, undocumented Americans, I should say, are really people who are teaching me what it's like to be a citizen, because they are so active. They are so involved in the community.
She let us express ourselves in an entirely new, different way, and she gave us an extremely powerful tool that we can now use in the community, and across the country people have been noticing the power that the stories of Do You Know Who I Am hold, and I think that's something that a lot of activists across the country want to replicate.
There's been so much work being done in the community over decades and decades to try to make Boulder an equitable place, and that those people who've been working for decades in the community have been kind enough to share their thoughts and their